Ultras, defined as a portion of a club's fan base which includes some of the most extreme and passionate of fans. But over the years, that definition has changed from being the most passionate to now the most violent. Behind their immense love for their teams lie dark tales of corruption, violence, and crime. These are the ultras of football. AC Milan's Curva Sud. In most football-loving countries around the world, it's natural for fans to group together to support their teams with organized unity. In Argentina, they're known as barras bravas. In Brazil, as torcidas organizadas. And in the case of Italy, they're known as the curvas, for the curved stands in the Italian stadiums. AC Milan's Curva Sud is one such group of ultras, residing in the south section of the San Siro, where the most passionate of supporters gather. The members of the Curva Sud consider it an integral part in Milan's football and culture, and have played an important role in the club's history, but have also played a dark one. Around the world, the Red and Black have earned a reputation as a club full of responsible, legendary, and honest players. There's no better example of this commitment than the two legendary captains of the club, Franco Baresi and Paolo Maldini. The legacy left by these two legends continues to shine through to this day, which is not surprising given their contributions to the club. In the case of Baresi staying at the club for more than 20 years and Maldini more than 24. Not to mention the countless cups and titles they won for the team. Maldini is arguably the face of AC Milan, not only because he won 7 Serie A titles, 5 European Cups, and 1 UEFA Super Cup, but also he was one of the few who dared to criticize the vandalism and irresponsible behavior by the Curva Sud. In the 97-98 season, for example, Maldini was the only player who dared to publicly criticize the unsportsmanlike behavior of their fans. And 1 week later, the game against Parma got temporarily abandoned due to fans throwing objects on the field. Another similar moment came in the 2005 Champions League final, where AC Milan and Liverpool met in Istanbul. The match was proving to be an easy test for Milan, who scored 3 goals in the first half, but Liverpool did the impossible, coming back and winning the game in penalties. And after AC returned to Italy, several Milan players, including Maldini himself, were attacked by the angry supporters. The then captain refused to bow down, reportedly calling these so-called fans mercenaries. But these wouldn't be Maldini's last run-in with the Curva Sud. On May 29, 2009, after the captain had played his last match for the club against Fiorentina, a significant part of the Curva Sud fans displayed offensive banners against the captain, read as, "For your 25 years of glorious service, you have the gratitude of those who you called mercenaries and misers. And thank you, Captain, on the field. You were an eternal champion, but you disrespected those who made you rich," thus ruining the farewell of arguably the greatest legend in AC Milan's history. Although the actions of a few are not enough to condemn a whole group, the truth is, the passage of time has revealed that more than a few members of these football ultras are high-risk criminals. And one of these dangerous men, convicted of numerous crimes with a prison record, a ban for footballing stadiums for more than 5 years, in the title of undisputed leader of the Curva Sud, is none other than Luca Lucci. Lucci's criminal history is a subject not many people talk about. His known history in the underworld goes back 17 years, when in 2006 he was linked to the alleged murder of lawyer Mariana Spinella. Lucci was revealed as one of those responsible for the tragedy after one of those involved in the murder, a man named Luigi Cialce, testified that Lucci had collaborated by lending a vehicle at the time of the crime, and that the new recognized top leader of the Curva Sud was trafficking cocaine and other substances that Cialce himself had supplied him with. Lucci's involvement in the crime was never officially recognized. The reason? Lucci's middleman in a murder case, a man named Daniel Cataldo, was arrested on drug and weapons charge in 2015, so no charges were ever brought against Lucci for the involvement in 2006. The links between the Curva Sud and the world organized crime are not new. The former leader of the organization, Giancarlo Sandokan Lombardi, left the group's leadership after being arrested for drug trafficking. At the time, Lombardi and Lucci already had a close working relationship, and in 2009 the leadership passed from the former to the latter. And crazy enough, during Lucci's first year as the leader of the group, he was arrested. He was charged with assaulting Virgilio Motta, an Inter-fan whom Lucci attacked during the February derby. The victim lost an eye as a result of the violence, and just 3 years later, Motta sadly took his own life. Lucci was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison, banned from Daspo for 5 years, and fined 140,000 euros, which he still has not paid yet. AC Milan's history dates back to 1899, which is why the Curva Sud's headquarters are known as the 1899 clan. On paper, this headquarter is run by Lucci's wife, who despite being the mastermind behind everything, appears in official documents as just another employee. The 1890 clan appears to be registered as the official non-profit headquarters of the ACSI, Association of Italian Sports Center. But in 2012, it was reported that Lucci and the headquarters were involved in an operation that seized more than 3 tons of hashish, after a raid in which it was also revealed that the current leader of the group was involved in a criminal operation involving the Calabrese mafia family and Francesco Cocci, a prominent Milan drug trafficker. And in 2018 of that year, Lucci and his group of 22 people were arrested for drug trafficking and possession after a raid in which 600 kilos of marijuana, hashish, and cocaine were seized. But the most important thing happened 6 months later. In December 2018, Lucci, after being released after months in prison, was photographed in the company of self-proclaimed Milan fan Matteo Salvini, the then deputy prime minister of the Italian government. Salvini claimed to be unaware of Lucci's recent arrest, or to even know him for that matter. But the way in which these photos were taken shows that they know each other pretty well. Under Lucci's leadership, Clan 1899 went from being the center where a group of sports fans gathered to share and find ways to support their team to an undeniable nest of crime, violence, and corruption. Unfortunately, the relationship between the ultras and organized crime was not limited to the fans of AC Milan. Various ultras groups around the world have been linked with drug dealers and other violent criminals. Keep in mind, the attitude of a few is not enough to define an entire fan base. But we must not forget that behind the beautiful game, there's dangerous people looking to exploit it. This is part 1 of a series in which we dive deep into the ultras of different teams. Thank you for watching. Take care and peace.